that he went through. Like he went through a handcuff stage. He went through a straitjacket stage. He went to his Chinese water torture, where they turned him upside down and put him in the water.
And they made him watch The View.
And they made him watch The View.
Right.
That was But the movie. Did you ever see the movie with Tony Curtis?
Yeah.
Okay, it was produced by George Powell, who did the War of the Worlds and all this. But it was so off base.
Oh, yeah.
It was all fictional, and it had him dying inside of the Chinese water torture, which never happened.
And is the story I heard was that some teens
now
punched
there's the
him.
big story.
Yeah.
The big story, right, is you guys know it.
He
tried
got
to
punched in the stomach.
Tried to blow himself.
I think it was a Canadian kid, okay, up there, and he's after a show, and he said, okay.
Oh, you think you're the good escape artist?
Yeah, and gave him the
Well, I
old,
thought the thing is he had like his other trick is that he could lock his stomach so he could, and he's
Right.
like
Exactly.
dismissive of the guy, like yeah, sure, whatever, punch me.
Yeah,
Like,
and-
and the dude punched him, and he, so not a great look. That's why he needed to escape from prison. He wouldn't last a fucking second in there.
No. How could you punish him? Yeah.
Yeah.
But that is the big rumor, and people say actually it is a rumor that he couldn't have punctured his.
Yeah, some got perforated.
They actually said something that he was experiencing difficulties before that. Actually.
Yeah, I used to think too. They ever saw a photograph of him. He kind of looked like Jon Stewart with curlier hair.
And he was a little bit cocky too, because not only did he sued everybody, for doing a trick that he did, for not paying him enough.
Should have called him Judini.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
That's it for me. I'm out.
yeah. No, you better be good. But the reason that he even sued.
Must be
there
pull a
was
rabbit on my yarmulke.
He even sued a French magazine, a French magician, who had the name Hoodoo or Houdini, and
Right.
that's who Houdini took it off of.
Houdini?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, and then his brother was Houdini, because the I at the end of the name, Houdini.
Right.
That in French that means like in the style of.
Okay. But it's it's very like when he came to town, it was a giant event. It was like when Genesis comes in September.
Oh yeah, it was. He had a lot of advanced. He had a lot of advanced men who would put up his posters and everything like that. He was very organized with what he did.
But so, surprisingly, Scranton. And
Why Scranton? That's what everybody says that.
a lot of plays, like before they hit Broadway, would either come to Philadelphia because it was only 80 miles from New York City, or Scranton. And for some reason, Scranton
Or Connecticut, or one in Connecticut too.
Yeah, but Scranton was like a big hub for trains go there. That's what they're known for, and a lot of out-towners would be up there. So the Marx Brothers would work on shows there, and they would do rehearsals there. But for some strange reason, also too, Scranton I think was at one time the number one area for massage parlors, because it's all truckers go there, and
So he needed someone to pull him out for some things.
It's Scranton and its sister city, Wilkes-Barre.
Yes.
Okay, we're big in the mining days too, because of the
But it's amazing. So, but if you ever drive through it, it's a little town up with hills, giant hills on it. But for some reason, they made a destination of the Houdini Museum, and like Wid said, he performed there once. Never lived there, never did there. Had a residency there at the coal mining magic castle or something. And it's very similar to Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania. Jim Thorpe never set foot in that town, or his skeleton did, but he didn't. But they just decided they bought the bones off his family, and he's interred there, I think. And they just called Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania. But people are upset over that. I think Jim Thorpe was partially Indian or fully Indian.
Oh, it had a very Native American name.
Yeah,
before.
It's called Malchunk.
I think the family bears a little bit of that.
Yeah,
run.
but also too though, it's strangely like who cares? What's the big deal? He's famous. No, he's not being like.
If the family sells the bones, then that's fine.
Yeah,
What are they gonna do with it?
They don't have like Jim Thorpe's skull at the end of a miniature golf course. Like, they're not disrespecting it.
I mean,
so when you drive through there, it looks like you're driving through a city in like the Little Rascals, like 1930s, old-fashioned buildings and old houses.
It still has that from its heyday. Yeah. When there were coal barons.
Now, I love reading negative reviews, and on the
negative reviews.
Yes, and this is
on Help or
this is
Yelp.
I think this is on Google. Okay. Google reviews. Here's from Google reviews right here.
You can complain a lot of places now. Okay.
Yes. And I'm telling you, honestly, we could do a whole podcast. Like, Dave does a very great podcast where they rank elements, everything, movies, songs, sports, everything, right? And I've done it. It was a great time. We did
comic strips.
Oh, it was really fantastically. It was a great time. But you could just want on negative reviews, like
we do.
Oh,
I do want to do a few worst of this season. That's
could we all read one?
Oh, sure. I'll give you my phone, or I'll
well, you want to hear me read things out loud?
No, but so there's one in Scranton, and here it's a Houdini museum where it's in front of someone's house, and like the house from put the lotion in a basket.
Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah, that's what the house looks like. You're in the front living room of a house like that.
So it's the Houdini Museum with little quotes marks.
Yes. But so for fun, go to the negative reviews. I'll tell you, negative reviews. How people like you see walking through a flea market with 3 wolves on their T-shirt, a wolf howling at the moon T-shirts.
Yes.
And it's the people you see them like.
Yeah, they're called civilians.
Yes. Okay. Well,
who go to these things because they have kids parties there and things like that at the museum and
yes,
little magic shows.
Well, I love the Google reviews because surprisingly, that's very important. Like there's commercials on the radio for if you have a negative review, there's companies that will combat that for you. Because some people will give you a negative review because the roads, there was a traffic jam, so it's your fault. All right. But so here's the review. Someone said this. All right. I went to a birthday party there. It was different because if the parents want to stay for the kids' party, they had to pay $12. If they didn't want to pay, they had to leave their kids in this strange house.
So like entering any building that requires admission.
But yeah. You're going to leave your kids there with the Scranton Houdini impersonators.
I hate when I take kids to a movie and then I want to watch the movie too and they make me pay for that.
The guys were like, watch me escape from my coveralls, kids.
Yeah. Oh, they sort of take care of the little bastards. Yeah, I can just see them.
All right. Now, this made me laugh. All right. There was the review I just read, right? Mm-hmm. The person said this. My family and I were planning on a visit to this place. But when we saw the rude response the establishment provided to the person above, right, we changed our mind and decided not to go elsewhere. And they're probably going to go to a
Steamtown.
No, yeah, who's another shitty magician?
David Blaine.
Yeah, David Blaine's basement. Another one, and this is interesting because all right, honestly, the Houdini Museum was the most boring and biggest waste of my family's time. And he spells waste like your stomach waste. The whole time, they're just trying to sell nonsense and random books. Not worth your 3 hours. So you're going to spend 3 hours in someone's living room while the guy's doing magic tricks. All right? All they truly want is your money and to waste your time. Spelled waste wrong again.
At least they're consistent.
And this is the only true magic here is when we got to walk out the door
and turned into a bar. Boy, they did not like their stay at the Houdini Museum. Poor guys. He must be turning over in a straitjacket.
I don't recommend this place. It's a waste of money. The magic show might be cute for slower kids, but it's very overpriced. They charge $20
for slower kids. Yeah. Did they say that? Oh.
It says they charge $20 for a 3-year-old.
And I think he might just be 3, not slow.
It said, They spent 3 hours talking into a microphone that didn't work, and they talked about how famous they were, and they claimed the only thing they had there, they claimed they had Houdini's clothing. Right? I love magic, but I do not recommend this place. I left feeling legitimately robbed. All right. Several say stupid for adults.
Stupid for adults.
Yes.
Okay. That sounds like a T-shirt right there. Stupid for adults.
Check out Chuck E. Cheese reviews next.
They close when they're supposed to be open, but they did call us back 2 days later. I was told it was going to be a museum of Houdini. Instead, we got a 2-hour-long shitty magic show. And so they wrote back to the person, the Houdini masters. You probably came late. And he said
That's a good excuse.
And he said, before every Houdini museum show, we have a VHS tape and a guided tour of our 2 jam-packed exhibit rooms.
I bet that's not. That's
that's
very expensive. They're the most coveted sort of artifacts of show business would be Houdini's tricks. I mean, or his books. But, I doubt very much that the stuff is actually Houdini-like.
Yeah, and it said they actually claim that they have things. But I heard, your boy David Copperfield has.
David Copperfield has the largest collection, but the second largest collection is a guy in New York City who has a small museum there. But that is jam-packed with real Houdini memorabilia. He has certificates in it. But there, the Chinese water torture is there. Some of his straitjackets. I seen a couple of his straitjackets around. I guess that was he was throwing them out like Elvis used to do to Scar.
Yeah. Taylor, I think I have on my phone here. I have one of our sponsors. I'm going to try. It's on my phone. I'm going to see if I can play it. I have it wired up. We're going to see
a sponsor.
Yeah, from Bitterman's Lager.
Oh.
Times are tough. We all know that. And if you're anything like us, you're counting down the minutes to 5 o'clock happy hour. Bitterman's Lager is the perfect beer to help you unwind. Whether you're dealing with a rough week at the office,
I guess it's not. Can you guys hear us at all?
I can hear it, yeah.
or a lifetime of regret
I
after
know the
never
voice.
seriously pursuing a career in ballet. Is the boss man keeping you down? Grab a Bitterman's. Is your wife constantly nagging you about the risk of financial insolvency brought on by your out-of-control Beanie Baby addiction? Grab a Bitterman's. Do you constantly wonder what your life might have been like had you dedicated yourself to dance after the director of the Russian National Ballet dubbed you a prodigy with the gracefulness of a swan and the intensity of a king cobra? It's Bitterman's time, baby. So whether you're staring down another week of office drudgery, or a spouse who has turned out to be more of a nutcracker than sweet, or a closet full of ill-fitting leotards that seem to serve as the physical manifestation of all of your life's failures, do yourself a favor and grab a Bitterman's Lager and watch your worries wash away one sip at a time.
I thought I had it hooked up. Whatever.
Without breaking the fourth wall, is that who I thought it was?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I've been sober for 11 years, but I may start drinking again because of that Bitterman commercial.
But I love stuff like that. I love like small town, like weird stuff you find, and
that's a classic sort of tourist trap. That place, the museum. Everybody loves Houdini. I mean, he still has the name after all those years. But I know how magicians are. Magicians are a little bit pushy, and and they blame you if their trick doesn't work. Okay.
Oh, it's funny. I've seen
I can't criticize that.
Are you a magician?
No, as a comic though, I'm pretty much the same.
It's
your fault if this joke didn't work.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
I'm gonna blame them.
Yeah.
It's funny too. The whole secret of obviously, magic is there's nothing supernatural about it. It's just misdirection.
Right.
And I did a show with a guy. He finally passed away, but he weighed over 400 pounds. Named Baxter, and I did a show with him. By the way, too, this was in Scranton, all right?
I remember Baxter. Yes.
Dave, this guy weighed 400 pounds. He had a shaved head with a mohawk, but his character was he dressed like Alibaba. He had these big, giant gold pointy shoes and pantaloons and a big Johnny Carson that thing on his head, that Karnak.
Is his magic trick finding baggy pants
Karnak.
in that size? Sorry, I got it.
Does anybody have an Arby's coupon? Anyone? He has an Arby's coupon out there. But he would do this trick, and I don't give two craps if anybody thinks I'm really going to ruin a trick. Well, whenever a magician says to you, Dave, do you have any money? He gives you a $5 bill off you, right? He goes, write your name on it, and you do. And he goes, I want to put your $5 bill in this envelope. And he holds the envelope in front, and he goes and puts the $5 bill in. He folds the $5 bill first before he puts it in. Well, what he really does is he never puts it in the envelope. He puts it in a false thumb. He slides up into a thumb, right? And he goes, I have it right here. And then he'll do something. Then like a minute later, he'll light the envelope on fire. And it's destroyed. Your money's gone, sucker. So he does this whole show, and his big closer is, oh, look, we have a grapefruit on stage, right?
A grapefruit on stage?
Right.
Who's he, Gallagher, too?
So he pulls the grapefruit out, and he pulls out a paring knife. And what he does, he cuts the open, then he cuts it open again. He goes, oh, what's this inside here? As he's doing it, he pulls your $5 bill out of his fake thumb. All right? Well, I did a show with him in Scranton, and he went all through that thing, and he pulled a paring knife out. And a paring knife is that thin, horrible knife that you use to fillet fish. It's just a scary knife. Just looking at it.
Dangerous.
Cut them scrods up.
Yeah.
That's the name of the show.
Yeah,
Right?
that is.
Cut
Right?
that scrod up.
So he does, and he slices his palm right through it, and the blood is pouring out, and he was the opening act. And there was
goodness.
blood flying everywhere, and he's like, and he did that. I don't feel so good. I'm feeling lightheaded. And the waitress had to go get a white bar towel, wrap it on his hand, and had to take him to the hospital. He's sitting in the emergency room dressed as Alibaba, like he got into a gang fight with some other magic genies, right? And but it was just ridiculous. But it was in Scranton. But that's a
magician story.
Yeah.
There's the big magician story about when the guy's on stage and he's working with the animals. And he all of a sudden a robin turns into a dove, and the dove flies away, and it landed right into the ceiling fan.
Oh, there's a video of this.
Yeah, yeah. So it's there are different pratfalls in both comics and magician. I guess for all performers.
Did the show go on? Did you still do your set?
Yeah,
Okay.
and there was blood all over the stage and the microphone, and it was just. I worked for the guy. I've known him for years. He finally passed away, but I think he gained weight so he could go on disability, because he was like 41 when he died, and it was just some heart issues. But I used to pick him up for gigs, and in his house he was involved in all this weird stuff, like bad magic, and he was a chocolatier. He used to rent out a chocolate fountain to events. But when you're done renting a chocolate fountain out to a wedding, you're supposed to clean it.
Oh man!
And I would go in his house, and he'd have the chocolate. It was all dried up chocolate on it, and they would go, "Hey, look in that bedroom there." And on the shelves, he was also making erotic chocolates. So you see like chocolate wangs and chocolate vaginas that he made, and it's like your showcase when you bring a bachelorette party over.
That's wrong on so many levels.
It is. It was several, but it's so many levels. But it was.
Candy making and sex, I guess they go together.
Yeah.
Like Mike and Ike.
But
I'll just take the candy.
Unfortunately, I have Butterfingers.
It's funny too. Over the years, when you do comedy, years ago there used to be a lot of magicians, and it was they did like a magical comedy act. There's a very funny guy, Norm Clark. If you ever work with him, I think he's very like. He's very he's like a
Carl Ballantyne,
Does he have a
who
stage name?
does
That's
everything.
Norm
Okay.
Clark.
All the setups are the same. Okay, with and and then something goes wrong. Okay, like that $5 bill, it would be half burnt. You know,
Yes.
the rabbit out of the hat would be a a pussy cat.
Yes.
Some sort of and.
It was
I can't remember any magician
When
show
it's
where they
done
just-
right, it's
yeah.
very funny, and there's been a lot of magicians that have done that through the ages, even in vaudeville.
But besides the Houdini Museum in Scranton, there's an accent that it's so funny when you hear your voice coming through here. Scranton. In Scranton, it's also known for its truck stop diners. All right.
Okay, yeah, Scotty's. Remember, Scotty's
Yes.
was there.
And there's several in the area because it's a huge trucking hub. Like they come across the country and they go from there to New York, Philadelphia, all the major cities.
Oh yeah, and there were a lot of coal mines there.
Well, there's sassy waitresses there, just like the TV show Alice. Sassy trucking waitresses.
Real waitresses, not the ones you've seen with uniforms and
Yes.
stuff. They still have.
Well, they had a hard time communicating with the chefs, so they would just had code words for different foods or different items. Okay, and now I'll read a couple to you. All right, like if you ordered a milk, I want a number 5, a lemonade. I'll take a number 41. A chocolate's a number 51. They numbered them.
Mm-hmm.
All right, but I'll try. He might know this. He's a big drinker. She says, "Give me a 50-50." What do you think that is?
A 50-50?
Yes.
That's a
It's a drink. I'll tell you that.
that's a lottery after most thing where the house gets to keep 50 and
No.
An Arnold,
it's
an
not
Arnold
it's
Palmer?
not 50-50 half
half decaf, half regular.
It's a coffee with half and half in it.
Oh,
All right.
yeah.
Okay. All right. So you order a meal. You order a steak
Okay, I'm
and something
ordering a steak. Can
and-
I have a steak, please?
and something else that goes with steaks. Yeah, he'll take a steak and a Murphy.
A Murphy. I think that might be something to do with the Irish.
Yes.
Okay.
Not coleslaw. What do they call it?
Potatoes.
Cabbage?
That's right. Dave's got it. It's a potato.
Oh,
He'll take a steak and 2 Murphys.
Oh, man.
what?
Who would have
You
thought
better
all
not
that
get
table, all that table waiting would
Yeah, I
pay
know.
off eventually.
Don't get a Mickey in your Murphy.
Yeah. This is breakfast. Hey, he'll take a stack of Vermont
That's got to be pancakes.
with maple syrup from Vermont.
Oh, right.
All right. All right. Here's. Hey, I'll take an Adam and Eve on a raft and wreck them.
Ribs.
That's
No.
that's biblical. No,
Adam and Eve on a raft and wreck them.
okay, that's 2 eggs on toast that are scrambled.
Right, for the word wreck them.
Wreck 'em.
No, I went with the rib thing. Okay, way off.
All right. Give me 2 Adam and Eve on a log.
Did you say rib? That's funny.
That's what that should have been it.
I was being serious,
Yeah.
but I'll take it.
Adam and Eve on a log.
Now that's no.
It's 2 eggs with 1 link sausage.
Okay.
On a log. They
Yeah.
call it a little log. Huh?
For a soda, he wants an MD.
That's
Mountain Dew.
Mogan. Did you say
No,
MD? That would be a Moxie.
no.
MD would be a
Whose occupation?
milk dud.
Whose occupation has MD?
Oh,
Medical
a
doctor.
doctor.
And what kind of soda?
Dr.
has-
Pepper.
That's right,
Oh,
Dr. Pepper.
that is cool.
Now, yes, where
What if
somebody's
they want a Mountain Dew?
Yahoo.
Yeah, you know she's snapper gum. What, you being smart? And here's another one. Now, I bet you this has never been said. You're not.
What? That Wid's gonna pick up a check?
Now, this one here, I'm going to just say what it is, right? Hey, this guy here wants angels on horseback, right? Which is.
Wait.
You'll
Is
never.
it shrimp?
No.
Angels
No.
on horseback.
Buffalo wings.
No.
Okay.
You'll never get. It's oysters rolled in bacon served on toast. Like.
You're right. I will never get. I will never get that. Yeah.
Wow.
This guy wants axle greased on his raft.
Okay, that must be axle grease. Must be oil, right?
Nope.
Now, axle grease would be
It's butter.
bear.
Bu-
It was
bu-
bear fat. I know that.
It's butter on his toast.
Axle grease is
Yeah.
butter.
You know, it's weird. Though. It
I
seems
keep
like
forgetting rafts.
and it seems like it's more words than just saying the actual what it is, right?
I know. It gets like I know that beef stew is bossy in a bowl. Okay.
There's a cow in a bowl,
Yeah.
beef. Here's a cereal. He wants Battle Creek in a bowl.
At Battle Creek, Michigan, was where they invented the cornflake.
Yes.
Okay.
That's cornflakes in
In
a
a
bowl.
bowl.
Yeah.
I don't know how you had to do so much
That-
homework for. I was going to
No,
say.
no.
I was going to say
It was-
Captain Crunch.
No, Captain Crunch belongs in a bowl. Okay. It's the Eagles who don't belong. No, I'm sorry.
Hey.
I'm sorry, folks.
I mean,
No
You-
sports. No
yeah,
sports.
you had a good couple decades for that one. But
But
Woo!
somebody say, hey, he'll take a Jack Benny. It's cheese with bacon. Like really?
Jack Benny, cheese with bacon.
is there anything else on the plate?
That's all it says.
That doesn't sound healthy.
Wow, what would a Danny Thomas be? Or give me an iced tea.
Oh.
Okay, he's got great actor.
He wants a pig in Mississippi mud. It's
Pig.
It's chocolate covered bacon.
it's
That doesn't sound bad. does
I
it?
think I've
Chocolate.
heard of it.
You might have. That's a new product. We should get them with the Bitterman's beer.
it's ham and mustard, like
And what did they call mustard this time?
Mississippi mud or yellow paint.
Oh, yellow paint.
Hey, this guy here wants Noah's Boy. Now I don't know how anyone ever get.
Damn it, I don't know his extended family.
Noah's boy.
I don't know how anybody's gonna get this.
I
It's a-
fell asleep in
I've
that
heard
Russell
it. I've
Crowe
heard-
movie.
Noah's boy was Benjamin or something.
No, yeah, sort of. Noah's Boy. It's a slice of ham because Ham was one of Noah's sons. But
Yeah.
nobody in the world's ever going to get that. Do you think some moron second grade cook's going to be like, "What's she saying?"
Well, times were simpler then.
Give
when
me
they-
a plate with a little bit of every animal on it.
make that a double.
Oh my God! It's a tube steak. Well, I've heard the tube steak is that the ZZ Top song, but what is a tube steak?
That's a hot dog.
That's what it says. It's a Frankfurter. I never knew that tube steak boogie by the.
Oh yeah, hot dogs. Red Hots, hot dogs, and the worst thing in the world for you. I read. If the internet's right, I don't know.
I just assume
that could be
yeah.
false news.
I assume you get an 8-pack of hot dogs. No two are the same. They're like snowflakes.
And there was always the joke. Okay, hey, I only get 6 rolls and I get 8 hot dogs. What's up with that?
How, Dave, in the 80s, so many comics, the 2 hot dog jokes were that. Why do hot dogs come in a pack of 8 and rolls in 10 or. And the other one was I dated a girl so fat the back of her neck looked like a pack of hot dogs.
Oh, he's good.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't do it today, but
I also, like I said about the beer reviews too. I got time for this. This is neat. There's one thing I thought was really neat was somebody posted a picture online of the Three Stooges in Philadelphia, and they said this picture was
Sure.
was 1928, and it's Mo, Larry, and Shemp strangling some guy. But my keen eye, I'm looking at it, I'm thinking that picture's not 1928, because the guy they're strangling has like a zoot suit on. Not
Right.
Whatever they wore back in 1928, barrels. I think they wore because they're stock market crap. But they said it's the Stooges, and then I found out that I didn't know this until a couple of years ago. The Stooges used to have a leader before Mo. It was a guy named Ted Healy. He was a big guy, and I didn't think it was that funny. But here he was well off. He was made a lot of
He
money.
was an actor, and he was, and he had a vaudeville routine where he had Stooges,
Yeah,
where he would tell jokes and slap people, before the Stooges actually.
And they made a movie years ago, but he was the guy who, and these were the 3 idiots that stood next to him, and I didn't think he was funny the least bit.
The least bit. He didn't
he'd be like, "Hey, you knuckleheads, I'm going to give you a punch in the face," and then he'd punch him in the face, and it wasn't funny because it didn't have Three Stooges sound effects.
Yeah, open hand slaps are funny. Punching is violent.
And you didn't hear like bonk. You heard like a real hit. And Larry's like, and they'd be nursing their wounds for the next 5 minutes as he's like, "Now you guys better wise up, you idiots." And well, he broke up with the Stooges in like 1931, and they went off on their own to have their success. Everybody knows who they are.
Money problems. Yeah.
But he went to vaudeville and other things, and he drank like a fish.
He was a notorious drunk. Yes.
And but he apparently there's a famous story where he went into a bar.
He went to Trocadero.
Yes,
in Hollywood,
and he started a fight with these. At first, he said it was 3 college kids who beat him up, but then
that was the rumor because he was there celebrating because he just had his first son.
Yes.
Okay, Ted Healy, the old.
Right. Well, so he's at this bar, and he supposedly got beat up. But then another story came out that some famous actors who became famous after this happened were involved in the beating. And the story was, he said to these 3 young, well-built guys, "I can lick any one of you. I'm going to give you 2 eggs on a raft. I'm going to give that guy cauliflower ear," whatever they said in the 30s. And they beat him up, and he died like the next morning. But and here, one of the guys was the guy who produced all the James Bond films. And the other one was Wallace Beery, another big actor.
Wallace Beery, very big, one of the highest money makers in the early days of talkie films. And he was also in Silence. But he was very famous, but he was noted for his wicked side. And he was with Jackie Cooper as a little kid, when he was a little kid, and he was really mean to the little kid, okay? So, he was a bad guy. But he was also married to Gloria Swanson at one time. And it was Broccoli, the guy from
James Bond,
who produced all that. And I hear that he used to work for Columbia Pictures. And Columbia Pictures was the sort of gang underworld studio that was run by the mob.
Yeah.
Yes, and the guy who was rented it,
George Raft.
not George Raft, but
Cohen.
Cohen.
Yeah.
Yes, he was notoriously a bad guy. He's the one who
But this is kind of, it might sound
Columbia
boring.
Pictures.
I know it sounds like we're talking about like something that happened in the 1700s, but there was guys back in the 30s to like the 60s called fixers. If you were a star and did something like killed your mistress, they would fix it.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a couple
Pregnancies they took care of.
Yes.
They took care of anybody with bad press. They were the original spin doctors, okay, who would take a bad publicity. They would go to court and they would hire the biggest,
Thanks Twitter for ruining that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I can't like a movie anymore because that guy did something with his
Forget that James
like,
Bond
oh,
from
man.
now on. Yeah.
There was
now I can't like fucking Usual Suspects anymore.
there was a detective, I can't think of it, he just got locked up. He's been in jail for a little bit. Like today, if someone was trying to like blackmail, I think it was Stallone and somebody else, like he got all dirt on, like he tape recorded them and got their information, and he was a fixer today. Imagine how many things are hidden, like someone like ran over a hobo with a lawnmower.
I've heard that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
But so this Ted,
May he rest in pieces.
yeah. Well, this Ted Healy. Well, at first they said he got beat up by college students. Then the story that went out was those actors did it, and but that's been since this, and that's a famous story. You always hear that he got like the Houdini. All right. Well, they said that one of the actors who beat him up, him and his family immediately left for Europe, like to stay over there for 6 months till the heat calmed down.
Wow,
Well,
statute of limitations were lenient. lenient
That was
back
Wallace
then.
Beery.
You can't charge me. I was going for 6 months.
Wallace Beery, they told him to get out of town, the fixer.
Well, here it turned out he didn't. They have all those like records. That's just lure. What happened?
Okay, all right.
But so it turns out though, what they discovered, it's just weird how these stories like the story that Walt Disney's head is frozen.
It's called fake news. Okay, we thought we invented it.
Yeah.
Fake news has been around since since hieroglyphics.
Yes. And so what turned out was that he died. He was an alcoholic, a severe alcoholic, and I think what's called puria.
I don't.
Yeah, it's a term for when your body just shuts down from drinking so much. Which I've also heard that David Cassidy from the Partridge Family, I heard that's what he had. But so it's been disproven. But the what's that story? That saying, "Legend and the lie print a legend." Or, or the legend and the truth print a legend.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and that was said probably back in the Wild West days. I think that's where, because they all had, everybody has reputations of being a Robin Hood of the Wild West, Billy the Kid and all that. But they were, they were murderers.
But it's, oh, it was fun. I should have it linked up. Larry from the Three Stooges was really from Philadelphia. And my friend Sean, he goes, "Yo, guess who I met?" I go, "Who?" He goes, "At my wife's mom's house next door, a family's moving in." And I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "Guess who?" And there's no way I'm going to guess this. And here it's Larry's nephew.
Oh.
Right, Larry's sister's son there.
That knucklehead.
Almost a non-story.
Welcome to cancel culture.
I did meet his sister a couple of times. Okay, she was at the opening of a comedy club back in the '80s. Okay, her and her husband. Her husband took over from Mo from making the sound effects and everything. That they didn't have.
Oh, yes, right.
In Ted Healy days. But and I also met her in front of the birthplace of Larry Fine, which is supposedly at 3rd and South Street here in Philadelphia.
That big painting was on the wall.
Yeah, and a giant mirror. The place is closed now, but they were very inside. There were all sorts of paintings of the Three Stooges, and the.
Well, that's I think that sister, who I detailed her car for one time.
Yeah,
Dave is right. That means nothing anywhere to anybody. It doesn't mean anything. It's like I'm always amazed by it. I tell a story all the time. Some guy, I did a job for. He was a sexton at the church, the Basilica in Philadelphia, and he told me that when the Pope came to visit, he walked by me. I go, "Yeah," and he goes, "I reached down, and I touched his robe," and I said, "Yeah," and he goes, "I could feel the electricity going through that man." Yeah. I'm like, "Really? You're a freaking idiot. It's called static, moron, right?" But
Why there was a balloon stuck to your head.
It's a miracle.
But Larry's
Sainthood.
Larry's sister, I heard she was just.
The poor woman looked just like him. Yeah. Okay, and had the receding hairline and everything, and the kinked out hair, and that Larry face.
I'm warning you, there better be a Coles around here.
But her husband. You could see she wore the pants in the family because the husband was real kind of milquetoast.
What's the big idea?
Yeah.
But ladies and gentlemen, I can see by the clock on the wall right there. Our time is up for this week of Cancel Culture. Tell your friends. Check out all the other shows here on Wildfire Podcasting.
Wildfire.
They have great shows. Mitch Williams, Mr. Baseball.
That's awesome.
Yes, he has a great show here too. All our other shows, check him out online.
See, it's more interesting than Mitch Williams' sister shows, though.
And John, I just want to say how sorry I am that the Monkees are going on their last tour. Okay, I know that you're a big Monkey fan, but there's only 2 left.
Yes.
I don't think that either one of them wanted to be called the Monkey. Oh. Okay, so that's why they're actually breaking up. And God bless the Monkees. They brought a lot of joy to a lot of people.
Oh, showbiz story. They made $700 a week.
Who's booking that gig?
No, but you thought, they're famous. They made like 48 episodes, and then that's it. No rerun money, nothing like that. That's why these guys tour. But I'm going to thank our guest, Mr. Dave Premiano, right here. Dave Premiano.
Thank you so much for having me.
This was fun. Do you have any super shows coming up?
No.
I thought
listen to the Rank Bank. There's May 14th on Friday. Chalfont, PA. I don't know the name.
Oh yeah, Chalfont, PA.
Tippenback Brewery. It's me, Cassandra D, Alan Massenberg, Steve Bickle hosting. Yeah.
Check out Dave on Facebook and his great podcast,
The Rank Bank.
The Rank Bank, and the legendary Wid.
Hey, I want to thank you guys for being so funny today.
Oh,
and the Roddenberrys, the Star Trek group that I'm in, look that up, the Roddenberrys, like Gene Roddenberry. They're going to be the house band at the convention, 11 through 17, in the Rio in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Oh, nice.
Okay, so that's the big Star Trek convention there.
What did we
Everybody's
say?
going to be there.
For the show title, what did Dave say?
Oh, fuck.
I can't put that.
What did Dave say? That's the name.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll call it What Did Dave Say? And I want to thank everybody here. Thank you very much for a wonderful show tonight. Thank you.
Peace.